Blink Publishing presents How to Be an F1 Driver, written by Jenson Button and read by Jack Hawkins.
Hi, I'm Jenson Button. Welcome to the audiobook of How to Be an F1 Driver. It's about my story through F1, the positives and the negatives of my racing career, but also just an in-depth guide to what Formula One is all about. The driving side of it, the sponsor side of it, the spending money that you shouldn't be spending but you do, and all sorts. I just thought it was an interesting book to write, and I think a book that hasn't been done before about Formula One. I've tried to make it as quirky and funny as possible because a lot of the stuff is. The mistakes that I've made, I have to laugh about, otherwise I'm going to cry. In my first year in F1, I don't think I actually learned as much as I should have done. It was a fun car to drive, the Williams, and I just drove it and had fun. In 2001, my second year in F1, I really struggled with the car, more difficult car to drive. And I remember driving in Nürburgring, and my teammate absolutely destroyed me in qualifying. I was like, I don't understand how he's able to drive it that quick and I'm not. And you look at the data and I'm just driving it completely wrong. I'm not braking late enough. I'm not carrying speed in. As it says in the book, it's all about weight transfer and setting the car around that style of driving, and my style was very different. So I had to learn to adapt, and that was sort of mid-season in 2001. And that was a real turning point in my career. I felt that when I arrived in F1 that my natural ability was enough. I arrived thinking, whoa, I'm going to win. I'm going to beat Michael Schumacher, Mika Häkkinen. That's not the case. You're racing against the best drivers in the world, and your natural ability is never enough. You need to work on engineering, and now a few of the drivers have actually engineering degree, which I wish I really had, because it took me many years to understand the engineering side of F1 and almost cost me my career. Any Grand Prix victory is very special. My favourite Grand Prix win was probably Suzuka, Japan. It really meant a lot, finishing first and just in front of Fernando Alonso, double world champion, and Sebastian Vettel, who went on to win 4 world championship. That's what we all dream of as a kid, to win that world championship, to have that championship winning trophy at home. I see it and it puts a smile on my face. Thank you so much for listening. I won't be narrating, as that's definitely not a skill of a Formula One driver, so I'm going to leave it to the professionals. I really hope you enjoy this audiobook.
Driving Lessons. Right, Mr. Button, says the driving instructor, with the distinctive leathery purr of someone born and bred in Los Angeles. It's Button, actually, I correct him, settling in behind the wheel of the Honda Accord, ready for my lesson. Jenson Button. Jenson Button? I try again. Jenson Button. Of course! He explodes. It's your English accent. Jenson Button. Jenson Button. Right. Got it. Okay, Mr. Button. So you're here today so that we can get you up to speed on your LA driving ahead of your test. Is that right? Yes, I reply. What I've discovered since moving in with Brittany is that making my way around LA isn't simply a case of staying on the right-hand side of the road and hoping for the best. There are tons of little things you need to know, like the fact that you're permitted to turn right at a red stoplight, or the odd way you have to deal with cycle lanes, and I need to know all this in order to get my Californian driving license. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you do for a living, you need a Californian driving license if you want to use the roads. In actual fact, it will turn out that I didn't really need to learn this stuff for the test when it eventually happens, because the test consists of me very nervously driving around Fontana for a bit, with the examiner saying, "It's 50 here, it's 50, you can go faster," out of the side of her mouth, and then passing me on all aspects of the test apart from one. Braking. I'd braked too late, apparently. I didn't brake too late, I will moan to Brittany afterwards. You always brake too late, she responds, long-sufferingly. But that's to come. Right now, I just need to get the hang of the road systems in my adopted home of LA, and the best way of doing that is by having an actual driving lesson. On the one hand, this is uncharacteristically sensible of me. On the other hand, I still have the shame of failing my first UK driving test branded on my heart, so I want to get it right. Besides, Brit's dad is a Californian highway patrol officer, so I need to keep my nose clean.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?